Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Legacy Motormaster. Now, I've been excited for this figure ever since I first saw pictures of him. And well, when I found out that Australia was starting to get this guy, I actually got a bit jealous. I mean, first France was getting Bulkhead early, and now Australia was getting Motormaster early. But well, having this guy in hand, is he as good as I expected? Well, let's find out. Now, first of all, taking a look at the packaging, because of course this is the first thing that was leaked. This is quite a big box. Now, the box art shows Motormaster in his vehicle mode. Just got his name there. Got some other stunt icons. So we've got Drag Strip, got Wild Rider, we've got Breakdown there. And if I can find them, I'm fairly certain that's Dead End. So, if you want to speculate what those two are going to look like in Legacy before they're shown. Because keep in mind, Inferno was shown on Metroplex's box, and now Inferno's been leaked. Well, not leaked, he's actually been shown by... well, I don't think he's been shown by Hasbro yet, but... Inferno was shown on Metroplex's box before his toy was shown, so yeah. But the side, of course, we got some Decepticons. The other side, we've got Menasor. The back, we've got Menasor, because you can form him without the other Stunticons if you want. Of course, we've got the vehicle mode. And something interesting, only the cab forms the robot mode. If you want Menasor, you have to use the trailer as limbs, which the other Stunticons attach onto. So it's kind of like the third-party Menasor figures. And the top, which actually does have Motormaster on it. So yeah, fortunately there's no QR code. I don't know, maybe there'll be like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive box set where all of the Stunticons will be included and now have both Motormaster and Menasor's QR codes on it. Who knows, maybe Motormaster's just not going to have a QR code. But taking a look at the figure, you see Combiner Wars, this is how you do Motormaster. Of course, he transforms into a truck that's definitely accurate to what he transformed into in the original series. Definitely way more than his Combiner Wars form. Mainly because he actually has the trailer this time. But, first of all, oops. Yeah, this pegs on really tightly, but let's start by looking at the cab itself. Because you can actually detach the cab and the trailer, unlike the G1 toy. But looking at the cab, it's definitely really cool looking. I mean, you can pretty much just see the entire robot torso there. And if you want, you can just see the robot head there. But if you have the trailer attached, then you can't really see it. Fortunately, mine's a bit chipped. I don't know if that was my doing it or if it came like that out of the box, but still kind of a bit crappy. But focusing on the cool and positive stuff, got some Decepticon insignias on the side, which I think look really cool. The wheels look really nice. They're not just simple clipped-in wheels like we're seeing with drag strip. This is what I'm talking about, you see. They look like actual wheels. Got some really nice detailing here on the top. This actually looks like a truck trailer hitch. Mainly because this guy doesn't transform like Optimus. Not kind combine the wars. So yeah, this is a really nice looking truck cab. And while taking a look at the trailer, there's a hitch here that you can just pull out so it stands up. Although, yeah, it's not really the strongest. So that is a complaint. But yeah, taking a look at the trailer, you see, this is definitely a complaint. But for detailing, we've got some tail lights there. Got what looks to be some molded doors here, because these could be like what you use to open it. This doesn't open because, unlike with Prime's trailer, this doesn't have any space to hold any cars, so you can't put your Stunticons in here. This houses all the stuff for the combined mode. Got a Decepticons in here there. One right at the front. So yeah. And while just combining the two. I think it looks really cool. Of course, you can just steer it. And it's actually quite tight. I mean, you see? So, yeah. Now, there is another issue with the trailer, and that is it can yellow. I mean, mine's not that bad. If anything, I'm not seeing any yellowing, well, yet, but there's been reports of it yellowing out of the box. I mean, seriously. If anything, like, by the time the other Stunticons come out, there's gonna be Minosaurs that like, pretty yellowed. I'm not saying this is gonna happen to every copy, but there's gonna be some. But it definitely bums me out. I think it's, like, mainly with, like, these bits. Like, here, that yellow. But yeah, it's definitely a complaint I have. Even if my one hasn't yellowed yet. But well, let's just step away from the negatives again and move on to the comparisons. Here he is with his rival, well, I guess you can say rival, Optimus. So, and we can see Motormaster definitely looks like King of the Road here. He's definitely bigger, which makes sense. This guy is a commander class, after all. Here he is with the previous commander class offering, Rodimus. And personally, I think Motormaster is actually better than Rodimus. I mean, I think he's got a cool looking alternate mode than Rodimus does, at least. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Space Winnebago, but seriously, just look. I mean, the trailer doesn't even tap shut, whereas with Motormaster, I mean, sure, you've got panel lines, but it stays together pretty well. Here he is with drag strip. So you can see how the Stunticons are starting to turn out. And this is going to be excited for Wild Rider. And finally, here he is with G1 Motormaster, and oh my god, that's definitely a size difference. I mean, to be fair, with this guy, the cab forms the robot, whereas with this guy, this entire section, like, all this forms the robot. So yeah, now, getting onto the transformation. Well, first of all, you move the trailer, which I did off camera, because, well, the trailer, it doesn't interplay into the robot mode. Sorry, I'm just exhausted. I was transforming the other figures for the robot mode comparison. But to start, we're just going to open up these panels, close them, untab all this. Try and get these sections untabbed. If anything, it's better if you untap the front of the truck first, because then that lets you bring these sections out to the front. Next, come to the underneath, pushing the front wheels. Bring these down. Tilt your camera up so you got some more space to work with. Now what you can do is you can just bring these up, but what I like to do is rotate all this around so the big pin here is on the back. So we got all that. Come into here, just do that. Rotate this 180 degrees so now you've got a faux truck cab. Push this in. That pretty much just covers the real truck cab. These will just tab into the sides of the leg. So now you have his legs all done. Take the wheel section here, just untab that. Get the arms out. And this just becomes a little backpack section. And here you have Motormaster in robot mode. Oh, and don't forget to tab in the shoulders. But I think that's quite an addicting transformation. I don't know why, but I just find it satisfying. Way more than Ronimus, because Ronimus has all the, like, a little fiddly bits, but with this guy, he's just got a solid transformation. So he's definitely really fun to transform. I mean, it's definitely very leg-centric, but it's still fun. Now, just doing a 360. I mean, of course, he does have the faux truck cab, so he does have the faux wheels there. Well, he has the real back wheels there. But it's still... Now, taking a look at the head. Of course, it's the standard frowny face that he has. And of course, it's the box helmet that he has. And well, this is where I'd usually take a look at the accessory, but well, where is it? Well, if I just take the trailer, split this in half, and here's the sword. So yeah, the sword actually stores in the trailer, which I think is actually pretty clever. Definitely way more clever weapon storage than Rodimus. Well, what I mean is, with Rodimus you can store the gun in the trailer, but only if you don't have the huge gun embankment there. It's pretty much one or the other. Whereas with this, you can just store the sword in the trailer, and that's it. It's out the way. Whereas with Rodimus, you have to put his sword under the vehicle mode. I mean, it's useful, but still. I just prefer the weapon storage on this guy. And of course, you can just plug this into his hand and... Well, I mean, it's kind of oversized, but still, you can just slash at his opponents. Either that or he can announce that he has the power. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with a gun. You have to... Well, he technically does have a gun, but we'll get to that later, but he doesn't have, like, a gun based on the original G1 toy gun. Maybe a third-party company will make one, but for now, officially, he doesn't have one. Now, speaking of not having firepower, he doesn't really have that many blast effect ports. Well, he doesn't have any. I mean, they sort of phase it out with Kingdom, but one big loss. There's no ports in the feet. I can't do laser feet. I mean, I could do like laser fists, maybe. But now it just looks like he's offering some sort of like... it just looks like he's giving a Twizzler to drag strip or something. Yeah, it just looks like he's giving a Twizzler to drag strip. So, yeah. Now, for comparison, here he is with Prime. So we can see who's the true king of the road. Here he is with Rodimus. Here he is with Dragstrip. So you can see how the Stunticons are going so far in Legacy. And here he is with G1 Motormaster. I mean, I guess you can say, at least they kept the wheels in the back, eh? Now, usually this would be where I end the video, but well... In fact, actually no, I forgot the articulation. Usually this is where I'd show the articulation, but... Before I do that, I kind of want to show off something first. If you remember the trailer... Well, what you can do with it, this can actually split. And don't worry, we'll come to these pieces later. And with this part, well, if we just fold this can form a gun. And if we just plug that into Motormaster's hand, you can give him a huge, oversized gun. I mean, of course, this is like more for the combined mode, but it's still hilarious. However, nope, no blast effects. I don't know what's with Legacy and having blast effects be a 50-50% chance. I mean, seriously. Like, some figures have it, some figures don't have it. It's like, it's definitely like it's a gamble whether or not a figure in Legacy has blast effect compatibility. And it's not counting like the colors, like the select figures. Ooh, and I dropped a piece. But well, moving on to the articulation, just get the sword out. Just get the sword out of his hand for this. You can move his head side to side. There's no up and down, unfortunately. You can move his arms. Of course, you can T-pose to assert dominance on the other Stunticons. He's got elbows. Got a bicep rotation. He's got a wrist rotation. I cannot speak. He's got a waist rotation. So legs can go forward that far. You can go back that far. You can untab these bits, which is actually a complaint I have. They untab too easily. You can do the splits. He's actually got a really good ankle pivot. If you want, these actually can swivel, although I'm pretty sure that's more for transformation. He's got good knees. And if you want to, I guess you can move the toe, although that's more for the combined mode. So yeah, he's quite posable. Now, let's move on to the second mode, which is actually not part of the robot mode. If you remember Motormaster, he had a battle station mode. Well, this guy can actually do the same thing, only it's more part formery. Well, if we just bring back the trailer, what we can do is we can just pull everything apart. Oop. So we can just bring this up, split that, just set that off to the side for now as we do this. Close this up. So if I can. Of course, I'm on camera, so it's not even going to be cooperating with me. For whatever reason. There we go. So you just want to close the front of the trailer into this. Just want to transform the gun and Bankerman again. Get these bits out. Lift this up. And this just attaches on. Like so. You can't really see that well. But then you want to get these bits down in there with loud ratchets. Ooh. Spin this around. Just close that. From here. Get these out. And you want to tab these into here. Like so. Next, you want to open these up so they're pretty much the combiner feet and legs. And these just going into the side. I mean, you can't really see them that well right now, but I'll get a close-out shot once I've got this all formed. And then you just plug in the gun here, if I can. And here we have this huge gun embankment. And in fact, I'm just going to put Motormaster on quickly. Because the R handles like you can hold on to, and it just doesn't tap well. So yeah, definitely a mode invented for Legacy, but it's still really cool. I mean, this could be like some sort of small battle fortress. I mean, these are little towers. This is like the huge battle tower thing. This could be like a little aiming sight that Motormaster looks down. And as stated, this doesn't really take blast effects, unfortunately. But this is still really cool. But not as cool as what I'm about to do. Oh yeah, you know where this is going. So if I just untab everything. And in fact, I'm just going to quickly get drag strip transformed. So you'll just give me a second. There we go. Now the guns, I mean, you don't have to leave them on, but I'm just going to do it to avoid losing them. But well, let's get started. First of all, let's just take Motormaster, and we're just going to fold them up. So to start, just take the fists, just fold them in. So you just take this panel, open it up, and just put the fist in. Take the wheel section, fold that around. Take this shoulder section, untap that, like so. Just want this all. Just try to remember how it all goes. There you go. So you want it orientated like this, something like this, and what that does is this will tab into here. I can actually get this tabbed there, because we are on camera, so figures always best behave when we're on camera. After that, just turn the waist around, untap the head, get the combiner head out, flip around the horns. That doesn't seem to be cooperating. So once you've got this going on, we can just take the legs, get them out. You can finally just untab these if they haven't done them themselves. And take these, just untab them. Basically, you just want to get this up on this double hinge, close this back up, and you just want to plug this into here, and then close this back up. So just do the same with the other leg. Like so. Now this isn't going in. There we go. Take these bits. Move these down. These will tab in. And here we have Menosaur's torso. Now, take these bits. If you haven't already, flip out the feet. Flip these bits out. Just try to figure out which is the left and right leg, but flip these little pieces out. Take this section, flip around the waist, open this up, and before I do the combination, quickly, if you want, you can use combinowar limbs for the legs. So if you want this going on, then go ahead. Just take the arms, fold this up, fold this up, fold this up like so, fold in the wheels, and you got an arm. However, if you have a Stunticon available for an arm, what you're going to do the same. However, before you actually do the splitting section, take said Stunticon and actually tab him in. Because you can see all the ports there. So if I can just get him in. So you just tab him in. Like so. I just like to spin around the guns for effect, because why not? But then, just do the same. Because if you remember my review on Drag Strip, there was a tab that essentially split him in half. Well, that tab was actually meant to be used with this. So, yeah. And with this, well, you pretty much take the gun, spin it around, and that's it. Yeah, this is not used in the combiner whatsoever. I mean, it can be used as a turret, but it's not actually used in the structural integrity of the combiner. And well, this is going to be quite tall, so we're going to need something to actually stand the camera. So let's just use Motormaster's box to help stand the camera. There we go. And well, to start the combination, just take these bits and plug them in. Essentially the same way you'd plug in a Combinowar's leg. It's getting tall, so I'm gonna have to go on my knees for this. Take Motormaster, and you just want to plug him in. I'm going to come around here. Try and close this up. Take these arms. Slot these over. And if you have the sword, you can just plug this in. And with this, yeah, you can just yeah, you can just have him hold on to that. But well, here we have Menasor in his, well, not fully combined yet mode, and oh, don't forget to tab these in as well. So yeah, I'm not going to do a full-on look yet, but let's just briefly talk about this. When all of the Stunticons come out, that's when I'll fully talk about Menasor. But Menasor so far, I mean, first of all, it's awesome that we can still form them without the Stunticons. Well, without the Stunticon limbs. With other Menasors, well, official Menasors like G1, Combiner Wars, you needed the limbs, otherwise you were just stuck with Motormaster and whatever Stunticons you had. Whereas with this guy, he might be missing a couple cars on the arms and legs, but you can still form Menasor. I mean, sure, the legs might be hollow, but when Breakdown and Wild Rider are on the legs, they actually close up, which is amazing. So yeah, this is really cool. And well, I think I'm going to end it here because this has been a long one. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Motormaster and, well, slightly, technically Menasor as well, but mainly Motormaster. So, complaints. Well, the trailer having kind of a loose hitch is definitely annoying. Especially if you're trying to move it around for a video, you know? The trailer yellowing is also definitely going to be an issue. I mean, seriously. I mean, of course my one's not fully yellowed yet, but who knows what the future's going to be like. Also, this one is minor, but I do wish the turret could take blast effects. But yeah, that one is minor. Also, I wish the little shin flaps could actually tab in better. Because often if I try to pose the legs, they just untab and it is really annoying. But well, those are pretty much my only complaints. So, do I recommend this guy? Well, in fact, I don't just recommend him. I'd say he's pretty much necessary if you're a fan of the Decepticons or Combiners, actually. If you're a fan of Combiners, this guy's pretty much going to be mandatory. Okay, I am exaggerating there, but this guy is just so good. He's become one of, if not my favorite, legacy figure. I mean, seriously. I mean, I thought Dragstrip was good, but Motormaster has definitely blown me away. I mean, I just knocked over something, but seriously, this guy is so good. I mean, I could just go on for another, what, 5 to 10 minutes just saying how good this guy is, but yeah, that would just get repetitive. So let's just end it here by saying he's amazing. I definitely recommend him, but just be wary on the yellowing. But yeah, I am definitely excited for the other Stunticons, and I actually hope we get a G2 recolor, hopefully in like Selects or something. But yeah, this is definitely a really good figure. Well, this has been my review on G2, not G2, well, hopefully in the future G2, but Legacy Motormaster / Minosaur. And this is Charlie Young, signing off.